Iran's top negotiator is mocking Washington, saying the US was forced to bow to Tehran's red lines. Qalibaf says the US suffered a major defeat under the Iran memorandum, framing the deal as a political and military setback. Iran says the Memorandum of Understanding forced Washington to effectively recognize Tehran's regional resistance allies. Qalibaf is hailing the Iran deal as America's defeat, casting it as a win for the axis of resistance amid rising tensions. Iran said on July 5 that the Memorandum of Understanding forced the US and Israel to acknowledge its regional allies. Qalibaf said Washington and Israel were compelled to practically recognize Iran's allies. Iran's top negotiator described the Memorandum of Understanding as a defeat for the United States. Qalibaf made the remarks during a meeting with Yemen's Vice President, Mohammad Al-Nuaimi. Mohammed Baqer Qalibaf said, and I quote, "The memorandum represents a defeat for the United States and an achievement for the axis of resistance, both militarily and politically. If the Americans and the Zionist regime sense even a moment of weakness or decline in our spirit of struggle, they will resort to war." By the end of the 40 days, they had achieved none of them, and after mediators intervened, they requested a ceasefire. Ansarullah and the Yemeni people have always stood with the resistance and defended Gaza, Lebanon, and Palestine in all hardships. More than 70% of global trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz, the Suez Canal and the Bab al-Mandab, all of which are in the hands of the Islamic world. Unquote. Yemen's vice president said the Houthis are prepared for renewed war if diplomacy fails. "We and you are in the same trench, standing together for the Islamic Ummah. What happened in Iran during the recent war has become a school for the entire axis of resistance, and Iran's political actions were also instructive. Yemen is prepared for any diplomatic cooperation, but is also fully ready for defensive action if political efforts fail." Unquote. New intelligence claims have alleged that Iran's Quds Force has formed a special operations unit known as Mukhtar for covert missions. The Quds Force, the foreign operations arm of Iran's powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, has been placed at the center of the report. The report further alleged that the Mukhtar unit is plotting assassination attacks against senior U.S. officials. U.S. President Donald Trump is reportedly among the high-profile figures identified as an alleged target. The report also claimed the unit operates with the support of Mexican cartels as well as members of the Iranian diaspora. Its alleged modus operandi involves deploying members of the Iranian diaspora inside the United States to carry out operations. These serious allegations were first reported by Israel's Channel 14 news network in an exclusive report. The report has not been independently verified by Hindustan Times at this stage. No official confirmation of these claims has been issued by the United States, Iran, or Israel. These allegations therefore remain unverified and should be treated as claims pending official confirmation. On July 4th, Iran's Foreign Intelligence Ministry also vowed to avenge the killing of the late Supreme Leader. Iran's Intelligence Ministry has vowed to avenge Ali Khamenei's killing amid the funeral ceremonies, turning grief into a powerful call for retaliation. Tehran blamed the US and Israel for Khamenei's assassination, according to Iran International, and said only revenge can heal the wounds of the Iranian people. The ministry pledged retaliation against those it holds responsible for Khamenei's death, raising the tone from accusation to open threat. The statement also reaffirmed loyalty to Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, signaling that Iran's leadership wants to project unity and continuity. Iran vowed revenge for the blood of Khamenei and other victims of the strikes, framing the conflict in deeply emotional and uncompromising terms. Tehran referred to the clashes as Iran's second and third imposed wars, accusing Israel and the US of waging war against the Islamic Republic. The ministry said its pursuit of revenge would continue under Mojtaba Khamenei, suggesting a long-term response rather than a one-off warning. The statement was released by Iran's state media on Saturday, July 4, 2026. Iran will begin 6 days of state funeral ceremonies for Ali Khamenei on July 4, launching a tightly planned period of mourning that will dominate the nation's calendar. The late Supreme Leader will be laid to rest on July 9, after a series of nationwide ceremonies that move his coffin through some of Shiite Islam's holiest cities. Officials expect millions of people to line the streets for processions across Iran during the state farewell, turning each city into a sea of black banners and flags. Tehran's mayor has suggested the capital alone could see up to 20 million mourners pass through over several days, a logistical and security operation on an epic scale. Authorities say parallel mourning events in Qom, Mashhad, Najaf and Karbala are also expected to draw huge crowds, extending the farewell beyond Iran's borders. Iranian officials insist the ceremonies will demonstrate national unity after months of war and crisis, projecting an image of cohesion around the new leadership. The mourning events will move from Tehran to the seminary city of Qom before the final burial in Mashhad, following a symbolic route through Iran's religious heartland. The state funeral is widely seen as Mojtaba Khamenei's first major test as supreme leader, setting the tone for how he will handle both symbolism and security. Mojtaba has not yet appeared publicly since assuming the country's top leadership position, leaving many Iranians wondering how visible he will choose to be. Observers will watch closely to see whether Mojtaba leads the main funeral prayer in Tehran, a moment that could cement his authority in front of millions and the cameras. U.S. President Donald Trump has come under fresh scrutiny after claiming Iran's leaders could be taken out in a single shot. Donald Trump said he could meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu next week after the NATO summit. Trump told Axios that he and Netanyahu get along very well and said the Israeli leader knows who the boss is. Trump said Netanyahu had requested a meeting at the White House during his upcoming visit to Washington. The meeting would be their first since February, following the joint US-Israeli military strikes against Iran. Trump said he was closely monitoring the funeral ceremonies for Iran's late supreme leader Ali Khamenei. He claimed Iran was begging to make a deal after the recent US-Israeli military campaign against Tehran. Trump said negotiations were paused during the mourning period and claimed both sides avoided strikes during the funeral. Trump also questioned the public displays of mourning, suggesting the tears seen at Khamenei's funeral maybe were fake. Axios reported, and I quote, Trump claimed the Iranians are begging to make a deal, but said both sides decided to take a week off from the talks until the events around Khamenei's funeral end. In the meantime, he said, neither side will shoot at the other. They are all there. One shot and we can take them all out. But we are not going to do that because then we would have nobody to negotiate with, Trump said. He added that he was surprised to see some Iranians crying at the funeral, saying he thought people hated Khamenei. Maybe it's fake tears, Trump mused. Unquote. Meanwhile, Israeli influencer Hanania Naftali publicly took a swipe at Trump over his comments on Iran. Naftali rejected Trump's claims of showing restraint during Iran's official mourning period after Khamenei's death. He argued that leaders who believe they must be kind to their enemies are unfit to lead a country.